So CBS News is in kind of a bit of a situation because they have this signature show called 60 Minutes, which airs in a very, very sweet time slot, often ahead of some of the football and other key games that are on CBS on the weekends on Sunday night, 7 o'clock. And they kind of have gotten themselves into it. You may remember, of course, that whole Leslie Stahl exchange with Donald Trump, where he's like, Leslie, look at the laptop, the Biden laptop. And she's like, that's not anything but Russian misinformation. That whole thing is fake. And he's like, no, it's not. And she said, yes, it is. We're not going to put fake news on 60 Minutes. This is 60 Minutes. And she gets up on her high horse and he's like, Leslie, for goodness sakes, listen to yourself. Why don't you go and check these stories out? So that was one little moment. And then there was that other moment, you see, when they decided to effectively re-edit the Kamala Harris interview. I've played it for you, but let's watch it again because it's important to understand the context by which this president is so angry with this company and sees this as a form of election interference because the way they manipulated what Kamala Harris, said to make her sound a whole lot smarter than she really is.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Okay, so two totally different things. Do you notice that, guys? I mean, there's no sort of even resemblance between what you're seeing there. So what was that really about? I'll tell you, the president was not happy. And you saw the flurry of tweets and Truth Socials that he put out about that. And understandably, he was not happy. I mean, how would anybody be happy about that? It's like really unfair, right? Would they ever afford him the benefit of the doubt? No. Well, now, what did I tell you yesterday? I think that it's probably game over for this company for this particular show. 60 Minutes is on its last legs, and that is what we saw in the Daily Mail, also reporting just last night. So this is a rather ominous warning. Basically, you have the FCC at this point looking into 60 Minutes, looking into that particular interview because the feeling is that they really inflated it quite deliberately. I mean, this comes on the heels of them announcing this DEI investigation as well. Brendan Carr rejected a bid, you'll recall, from CBS to dismiss this complaint. His latest comment suggests that avenues will be used, all avenues will be used, to probe CBS and that the network could be hit with a hefty fine if it's found to have been in violation of the rules. You know, there have been FCC fines before. There was one, the $300 million one, levied against several broadcast networks who were engaging in illicit, illegal robocall operations. While the FCC's investigation, writes the Daily Mail, comes on the heels of the $20 billion lawsuit launched by President Trump. Did I say 10? I meant 20. I think he upped it. He upped it along the way over the interview with Harris, alleging that CBS deceptively edited it in a way to sway public opinion in her favor, right? So the thinking was, oh, you know what, we'll just make her sound a little bit better. Now, the CBS producers would say, no, we just did this for clarity, right? Because nobody could understand whatever she was saying. Well, it's not your job to make it understandable. I would just emphasize it really should be your job to show Americans the truth. And when you change the truth because, you know, you think that this is somehow going to maybe help her or help convey a message a little bit better, you really are running into certain risks. So the guy who was in charge of this, the guy who basically, you know, was running the whole show and okayed all of this, he was not too happy about suggestions that he might have to apologize. or that CBS News might have to apologize. He wasn't happy about the DEI stuff. He wasn't happy about the apology stuff. And so this is one Bill Owens, decided to quit because he said, well, CBS News has lost its independence. And in doing that, well, it just sparked a whole chain reaction where the staff got really furious because he was very well liked. He had been Scott Pelley's producer for quite some time. And Scott Pelley is one of those people on the show that, maybe you might recognize, maybe, probably not, because it's not like you think 60 Minutes and you think anyone. Maybe Leslie is the most recognized. I don't know, but it's not like I can actually put a face with 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes to me is the clock ticking on a Sunday night, like when I was a kid, because I don't think I've seen it since I was a kid. I mean, nobody watches it anymore, right? And so I'm like, what is this show still doing out there? Really and truly, like, why do we need a show like this out there in light of all the other good content you can get? And by the way, it's not cheap. It's kind of an expensive show to produce. And it's in a killer time slot. Like, you put that thing on any other time slot, good luck, baby. No one's going to watch. Okay? Like, that's just the reality of it, because it's not that exciting a show. So do you need it? As a network, I'm telling you, you know what Sherry Redstone's thinking right now? She goes into her board meeting tomorrow. No, I don't need this. I don't need this headache. I don't need this problem. And I would not be surprised, I kid you not, if they decide to actually just get rid of the whole thing. They've got this Carr investigation, right? Carr telling Bloomberg that any business looking for FCC approval would have to make sure that they have ended any discriminatory policies that they had put in place by way of DEI. And so this is where they are. Apparently, according to the New York Post, they have a board meeting tomorrow. Sherry Redstone is sitting down with her board and they're trying to figure out what to do about the $20 billion lawsuit with Donald Trump. They're trying to figure out what to do about 60 Minutes. And I think probably the upshot of all of it, and I'm sorry for those of you that may still like this show. I mean, I'm sorry in more ways than one. I think it's probably coming to an end. But here's what I would say. Guys, you know what? If you're any good, there's room on the other side. I mean it. If you could snazz up your edits and maybe speak a little bit more quickly so that, the rest of the world can at least consume it. I mean, it's so slow. Right? It's so slow. It's a really tough thing to watch at times. If you could do that, then maybe you might actually have a future. So, that's the plus side. This is a meritocracy kind of world where those that are good rise to the top. As they say, cream always rises. But in the meantime, 60 Minutes, we wish you all the luck.